the weather. I don't think it's going to be nice here tonight. Unfortunately. I should get my... I don't have to. It's going to be nice here today. It's nice now. But tonight, not so much. I got to do a show in half hour. And then take Mom to the doctor. And then come back and chill out. Time to chill out. What am I missing? Twitchy land. It feels a little chilly in here. It might be nicer outside. I gotta check 2 different things for weather. And let's bring up windy. Let's do windy first. Oh yeah, the rain is to... That's a nasty system. Ugh. It's not going to be good tonight. Nope. Not for meteor shower. This rain is probably heading right toward me. Alright, let's see if this is the system right here. This is the rain that's probably coming for me tonight. I don't know. It's not what the models are showing. I don't... The Euro's not showing that. Let me look at the satellite imagery. That. I don't think it's going to be as bad as they say it's going to be. Yeah, there's a line here, but it's not going to be cloudy all night and rain all night. The system is up here. It's probably right in here. Actually, it's probably right in here. The low. I don't think this is going to be bad. There's the line. That's why I don't trust the weather forecasts. I have to see it for myself. I honestly don't think it's going to be too bad tonight. Now, I got shows till 10 that I have to work. But I don't think it's going to be as bad as they say it's going to be tonight. Rain here. I may be wrong. The satellite imagery has this one line and then a secondary. Look at that line. It stretches all the way down to the south. Let's see if anything's going on down there. Not really. A couple of lightning strikes here. Nothing severe, nothing to go crazy. But there's the front right there. I do want to check something out while I'm on windy. This. You can't see it because it's behind. I think that's curving out into the Atlantic. Oh yeah. It's actually just, oh shit. It's curving out now. It's gonna miss Florida. And there it goes. Bye-bye. Good. Let me see what the American model's showing. Similar? Yep. Bye-bye. That's good. That's good news. We were very lucky this year. A lot of these storms curved out. And the same way I hear people talk nonsense about they're using weather modification to target places, well then I would say this. They're using weather modification to prevent hurricanes from coming in and affecting the United States. I could be a conspiracy theorist and easily say that. Well, we didn't get hit with hurricanes this year because they used some weather modification to keep them away and out to sea. Both are batshit crazy, but I can easily do that because you hear, oh, I wonder if this is intentional and they're hitting certain areas of the country because it's political. Well, if you say that, then you should say, well, maybe they're using a weather modification to keep these storms from impacting the United States. It's such nonsense. Good morning, Stala. But that just goes to show you I can easily flip a conspiracy the other way. That's what I'm saying. Because it's laughable. Maybe if they studied weather a little bit more, they would understand how it works. Not to say that cloud seeding or weather modification hasn't happened, because it has since the 40s, I believe. Cloud seeding, especially in areas of drought, trying to create some kind to save farms and farmland and all that. But it's not going to create a hurricane or severe weather like people are trying to say. It's just insanity, actually. It's good. It's this. I hope the system holds out tonight for me to do a meteor shower watch right here. I hope it doesn't affect me too much. It doesn't look too bad right now. There's one line, that line. But that's not an all-nighter. This is not an all-nighter. There's no clouds behind it. It's clear right now. There's nothing behind it. So once this gets through, and the earlier the better, because I'm not going to be able to do it until 10 o'clock anyway. So, and there's the low pressure right about there. Now I'm going to go here. And over here it's showing the line too. Right there. I got to do a show in a half hour. Actually a pre-record. But I hate when it does that. I really do hate when it does that. It doesn't fill in properly. It's annoying. There. This is the line. That's not an all-nighter. Unless it develops and strengthens. Right now, I'm not concerned for tonight. Now, I do want to talk to Dom, because if he has a song that he wants me to write about a specific thing, I will do it. I wrote one in general, but if he has something that he thinks would be inspirational to the people of Ukraine, like, and give me an idea, I'll write it. Because it's not that hard for me. And no, I do not use AI to create my lyrics. I sit here and write them myself. That would be so cheating. It wouldn't be mine. All right, I want to check one more thing. And I need my coffee. Let me get my coffee. Oh. All right, coffee. Nice and fresh. Estimated cost, $3.50. Oh my God, it's not even funny. There are no alerts of any kind in the country because it would show up. So it's quiet, which is good. Not to say that this afternoon some of these storms in this line cannot develop, and they're just starting to. See them? It's not to say that this won't happen later. As part of this line. I don't think there's much up there. And there's more action up here than there is anywhere else. So this is not far from me. This is gonna, let's see, try this. This is moving east. It's actually moving east-northeast. This may go to my north. Because I'm right about here. That's where I'm at, right about there, along the Hudson River. So it doesn't even look bad. So we're just gonna have to monitor the weather tonight and see what happens. I hope it's not bad. They're saying rain, but that's what Alexa's saying. Alexa isn't the greatest weather meteorologist either. What's up, KJ? So anyway, last night was a bust. I was brutal last night. Absolutely brutal. You know how many Iron Maiden shirts I own? Like 40. You know how many Iron Maiden caps I own? 5. You know how many hoodies I have? 4. I got more Iron Maiden stuff than people might have normal clothing. Just an Iron Maiden. I've seen them 19 times. So I got quite the apparel of Iron Maiden. And it's all over the place. It's all over the house. There's Iron Maiden everywhere. You just don't see it. But it's everywhere. So I saw he was on earlier, but I wasn't up. But I do want to play the songs again, the Ukrainian songs, because I got to get off soon. I got to go do a recording. So why not? Maybe there's some people in Ukraine watching. Maybe there are other people. Hello from Ukrainian. Look at that. I got a song for you in Russian. I thought I saw you last night. What?
A towel.
I don't have one here.
That in the bathroom there?
No.
I think so.
No.
I'm freezing.
You better find one. Gosh. This is getting cray-cray. Oh my God, where's my song? Oh, here we go. You ready? Here it goes. He told me he's spreading the song to everybody. Let me put the video on the screen. The video is more important because it has the lyrics in Russian. Right here. All right, man. Do what you got to do.
Oh, yeah, I'm trying to dry myself. I can find. Oh, I found one.
All right, I'm going to be quiet now.
Агрессивное вторжение, старые видения прежней оккупации. Мир наблюдает со стороны, слова о прекращении. Карусель политических решений порождает чувство неуверенности. Демократические ценности независимости атакуют безнаказанно. Храбрые граждане стоят едины. Свободы на кону. Мужчины поднимаются на Многие сомневались в их решимости, противостоя мировой державе. Нации объединились в защите, эскалация кажется мрачной. Безжалостные акты агрессии, невинные жертвы жестокости. Детей уводят с их земли, непреклонные акты смертности. Свобода восторжествует, враждебность будет отражена. Все жертвы многих семьи воссоединяются. Стабильность восстановлена, руки соединены вновь. Свобода возвращается, мир по всей родной земле. Братья по оружию, защищающие от тирании свободу своей родины. Пропаганда сеет заговоры, охраняя невинных, служа своей земле. Украинцы сражаются с гордостью, держат позиции на передовой. Международные братья рядом.
So that is obviously in Russian. A lot of people that are here may say, what the heck is that all about? Because they don't understand Russian. But that's obviously written for them because Dom had told me they like the song, but they don't speak English, so they don't understand what it's saying. So, what's going on in here? I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means, what he's saying. And yes, you can follow me and I'll follow you back. But I also want to play the English version for those that do not understand what that song about. But that song I wrote for the Ukrainian people and the people that are protecting Ukraine's sovereignty. Mom is here. Mom, you need to get ready. We have to go take you to the doctor soon. I mean, soon. So, go do what you got to do. So, I wrote this one. This is the English version. It's called Frontlines. I'm going to play it now. This is in English now. You'll be able to understand it. Okay.
Aggressive incursion, old visions of prior occupation, world watches from sidelines, words of cessation, revolving door of policy, creates a sense of insecurity, democratic values of attacking with impunity.
And a lot of that song, when I write my music, it's literal. At least it's literal from my point of view. So when children taken from the land, from their homes, from Ukraine back to Russia, kidnapped, abducted, thousands, that's a fact. That's a fucking war crime. You know, these young people, they did not run and flee like Putin thought they were going to do. Putin thought he was going to take Kyiv in 3 freaking days. He thought he was going to overrun Ukraine completely. They stood their ground. And still are. And there are people from all over the world, not necessarily on a, and yes, in a military sense too, but there are individuals volunteering from all over the world to stand beside Ukrainian soldiers to help defend it, including Americans. You may not see that in the news, but that's a fact. And you know, they say corruption. Do you know how many fucking shows on this network that I work on have shows talking about corruption? And the other day, there was a comment made. I don't remember who it was. Oh, it was, and this is how the world looks at us. The other day, the Iranian supreme leader says, instead of worrying about us, you should worry about what's going on in your country. And the millions of people, because it wasn't hundreds, it wasn't thousands, it was millions of people in protest of what's going on here against our president. So they throw shit in our face when they see what's going on here. Like, who are we to dictate to anyone else when shit is crazy here? Right? Yes, of course, in the first 6 months, it was you guys, the Ukrainians, and a lot of young people. And a lot of people have sacrificed themselves. So when they say, oh, Ukraine is corrupt, you know how many shows I do on this network right here that I work, that say corruption here, corruption there, corruption here, Antifa, this, that. And you have the nerve to criticize what's going on in Ukraine when you yourselves are talking about corruption right here in the United States? Corruption exists everywhere. So it's like such hypocrisy. Exactly. Who doesn't have corruption? Corruption exists. You know why? Money corrupts. Power corrupts. That's why. It happens everywhere. So for the same people, especially in one political side, to attack and say this and use it, well, you better be careful because you're doing the same shit here. They're just as responsible. And that's the hypocrisy. Because, of course, and you know what? Dom said something the other day that made me realize, even him, in his position, said, I am not a politician. I am a soldier. I take my commands. I am here to defend my country. He doesn't want to get involved in the politics of it. Even though, you know, he did bring up Zelensky and some of the pros and cons. And that the Ukrainian people, after all is said and done, want free and fair elections to vote for someone. Who that person is, we'll find out in time. But see, in America, we're saying, oh, Zelensky is going to be a dictator. Well, what the fuck do we have as a president right now who says he wants to be a president third term, talking about it? That's against the Constitution. So what's going on here? And we're talking about what's going on over there, but what's going on here? So when we start criticizing other countries, we have to be careful because they could use it against us. Well, look at you people. You people are fighting amongst each other. You people can't even stand each other. You are supposed to be the example of democracy. You people are a laughing stock, calling each other evil and whatever, hate. What kind of an example do we set to other fragile democracies across the world? We used to be the shining example of democracy. We are not that anymore. We're a joke. We are a joke. It's so broken here. You don't want to have a democracy like ours because our democracy is so broken. And that is just not it's just not good. It's hypocrisy. By any standard. What's up, Marco? So, do I stand for Ukraine? Absolutely. Does Mom stand for Ukraine? Absolutely. You think I'm going to roll out a red carpet to freaking Putin? A brutal dictator? And a history of it against even his own people? Or people that oppose? Or people that speak out, like journalists? Even going and sending people into other countries to take his opposition out? I mean, give me a break. And be well and be safe over there. And I wish all of your comrades safety and keep up the fight for the sovereignty of your country. And I said, you know what? Yesterday, I had a quick conversation before a show. It stopped them cold. It stopped them cold. Because, it's about the America First policy here. Ukraine is vital to the America First policy. But a lot of people they don't know what the hell they're talking about. They watch what's on the news. And they don't understand how important of a national security Ukraine is to the United States. And I brought it up and they're like, huh? And that's why people talk, but they don't know the facts when they're talking. They don't do the research. How important Ukraine is to the United States. Alexa, how important, from a national security perspective, is Ukraine, especially in regards to the minerals deal?
The U.S.-Ukraine minerals deal, finalized in April 2025, is significant for national security as it aims to reduce dependence on China for critical minerals. Ukraine's reserves include 30% of Europe's lithium, 7% of global titanium, and untapped rare earth deposits vital for semiconductors, EV batteries, and defense systems. The agreement establishes a joint investment fund where Ukraine contributes 50% of future revenues from new mineral projects,
to the
while
United
the U.S.
States
provides military aid and financing. This strategic partnership helps diversify supply chains and counter China's dominance in critical materials.
And how much of the territory that is currently occupied by Russia is its worth?
As of October 2025, Russia controls approximately 19% of Ukraine's territory, which amounts to about 115,440 square kilometers. Ukrainian officials estimate the mineral resources in these occupied territories to be worth over $350 billion.
Watch this.
President Zelensky has even suggested the value could be in the trillions, highlighting the strategic importance of these regions.
So how much in rare earth minerals and other resources is currently occupied by Russia?
Russia currently controls about 70% of Ukraine's mineral resources,
70%.
including significant rare earth deposits. These resources are primarily located in the occupied regions of Donetsk, Dnipropetrovsk, and Luhansk, and include critical minerals like titanium, lithium, and various rare earth elements.
And how much estimated value is that?
The mineral resources in Ukrainian territories currently occupied by Russia are estimated to be worth over $350 billion.
It's actually 12 trillion.
President Zelensky has suggested the total value could
Alexa,
be in the
stop.
trillion.
Is the occupied territory that Russia is currently occupied worth over $12 trillion in resources? It's not talking about all the resources. I interrupted it. Alexa, Is the current occupied territory that Russia it has over Ukraine worth over $12 trillion in resources?
According to a 2022 analysis by SecDev for the Washington Post, Russia controls at least $12.4
That's old.
trillion worth of Ukraine's energy,
But it's
metal,
still saying
and mineral
12 trillion there.
deposits.
That's an old
This
one.
includes 63% of Ukraine's coal deposits,
See?
11% of its oil, 20% of its natural gas, 42% of its metals, and 33% of its rare earth minerals. The most significant value comes from coal deposits, estimated at 30 billion tons worth $11.9 trillion in Russian-controlled areas.
That's just in coal. So we're going to draw the lines.
Beyond coal, the occupied territories contain significant deposits of other critical minerals, including nickel, cobalt, platinum, and palladium. These resources are primarily located in the Donetsk, Dnipropetrovsk, and Luhansk regions, which are currently
Alexa,
under
stop.
Russian...
The bottom line is, if we were to draw the lines where they exist right now, Ukraine loses 70% of its resources, which our deal is worthless because we're not going to get access to that. Russia's going to get access to it. Russia's economy is going to have such a boon. We're going to rebuild Russia's economy. The Russian economy is bad. Well, guess what? We draw the lines where our president says, let's draw the lines where they are, the battle lines right now where they are. Does he realize how stupid that is? Is anybody telling him how stupid that is? Or they're just afraid to tell him? That is the stupidest thing we could do. Trillions and trillions of dollars, 70% of their resources occupied by Russia right now. And that's why Putin is a very intelligent individual, Mr. KGB. He might make a front where, oh, I don't want to make this deal. I don't want to do this. But he's going to fucking celebrate with vodka and everything else because he knows this is the sweetest thing that could happen to Russia. Yeah, but, Louis, they will have trillions and trillions of dollars of resources if they keep that territory right now that they occupy in Ukraine. Trillions and trillions worth. And especially rare earth, which we have a heavy dependency on China, and so do other countries. Do you realize that China controls 90% of the processing of rare earth? They've got us by the cojones. And we say, fuck China, this, that, China. This is a great way to stop our dependency of China. This is of national security. Uh-oh. Hi, Margaret.
Hi, I was just taking a drink.
What's happening?
Sometime today, will you do the air conditioner for me?
Yes, I gotta do a show like in 5 minutes. Then I gotta take Mom to the doctor at 1:30. Then I'm gonna come back, and then I'll call you because, like I said, I got a little stuff to do this afternoon. But I'm free this afternoon.
Oh yeah, that's fine, because I'm outside, I'm working outside, pulling weeds and stuff like that, so no, that's fine.
All right,
Anytime today.
I'll call you.
I'm gonna be here all day.
I'll call you.
Okay, sounds good.
Bye.
Bye.
So, and not only that, Ukraine has one of the most fertile lands for farming. The soil alone is of such high value. But that minerals deal gives United States companies, the U.S. actually, actual preferential access to Ukrainian resources where we get 50% of all profits for all of it. And this is not important for us. This is definitely an America First policy. It would boon our economy, but instead it might boon Russia's economy because of their stupidity. I don't know if this has to do with, I want to make peace so I can get a Nobel Peace Prize. It's not about you. It's about the country. It's insane. Alexa, when it comes to President Trump's America First policy, how does that affect Ukraine?
Trump's America First policy has significantly impacted U.S. Ukraine relations. In early 2025, Trump accused Ukraine of starting the war with Russia and briefly cut off military aid and intelligence sharing. His approach prioritizes accessing Ukraine's mineral resources over supporting its territorial integrity. Trump has signaled willingness to pressure Ukraine into concessions, focusing on ending the conflict quickly rather than supporting Ukraine's long-term sovereignty.
And what would that mean when it comes to Ukraine's resources?
Under Trump's America First policy, Ukraine would need to give up 50% of its revenues from natural resources, including minerals, gas, oil, and other infrastructure, to a fund fully owned by the United States. This deal, called the United States-Ukraine Reinvestment Fund, gives America preferential access to Ukraine's critical minerals like aluminum, graphite, oil, and natural gas. Ukraine has an estimated 5% of the world's critical mineral reserves, making it a key player in global mineral markets. The agreement doesn't provide security guarantees for Ukraine, focusing instead on returning non-refundable aid the U.S. provided during the Russian invasion.
It's not going to do a grandfathered collection of money that was given
The
by...
Trump administration's recent policies don't include grandfathering provisions for existing mineral resources. Instead, they're actively rolling back previous restrictions on
Alexa,
mining
stop. That's for anything that's done in the future. Ukraine can pay the bill for any assistance that we provide to it. But our president has, I don't know what his agenda is. Ukraine has trillions and trillions of dollars worth of resources, which gives us 50% profits from any future mining, development, infrastructure. We had the in that was signed, which is a great deal, by the way, that the president signed with Zelensky. It's a freaking gold mine, more than a gold mine. It's like the lotto of all lottos to make this happen. But in order to do that, you've got to first create an atmosphere in Ukraine that is stable, ceasefire, and get that land back. Do not give that land back. Don't let Russia get access to that land. Then that minerals deal is worthless because most of the important resources are in occupied territory that Russia currently has. Does that make any sense? Is anyone telling him? Or is he just so... he just goes off the cuff and he's not thinking about what the ramifications of such a decision is? Such an impulsive, rash thing that he just says after a phone call with Putin. So this shit is cray-cray. It does not make sense. So it does make a lot of dollars and cents for the American economy and American companies' investment and less dependency on China and a lot of other countries that we depend on for resources. We're not talking about oil necessarily, or coal even. We're talking about those rare earth minerals. Alexa, how much of the marketplace does China have of rare earth minerals globally?
China holds around 40% of global rare earth reserves and produces nearly 70% of the world's output. More importantly, they control over 85 to 90% of global refining capacity and 90% plus of magnet production, which are critical for modern technology applications.
And we depend on them. That's national security all the way. So facts matter. Details.
China's dominance
Alexa,
in
stop.
rare-
The devil's in the details. The American people don't realize how fucking important this is. For us, America First policy. It is crucial. It is of vital national security interests of the United States to protect Ukraine, not just for its sovereignty, but for the deal that we made and the economy, the boon for here. That would be unbelievable. 50% preferential treatment that the United States companies get for accessing Ukrainian resources. 50% profit on anything. That is money, ka-ching, 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 and it cuts our dependency from other countries, especially China. That's everything they talk about. That's all their talking points. And they're not doing it right. He's not doing it right. But somebody in the administration, the incompetence of that administration, because they're all loyalists, they so fear him, they won't even say anything to him. Somebody needs to tell him this is a bad idea. A really bad idea. I swear, I think I have to write, I don't know if they'll see it, I got to write the White House again. Or maybe you can't trust the conservative media outlets because they're afraid to even ask him a question that might be considered pointed or direct or blunt or, they got to throw the softies and suck up. Just like the White House corp, the press corps. Most of them are conservative. It's not balanced in the White House press corps. It's softball questions. Suck up questions. But somebody needs to tell him. Because I don't know which one he watches, Fox and Friends or whatever he watches, because that's where he gets his news from. Somebody needs to see it and make it put to his attention that this is a fucking bad idea. Did you realize that if you allow Russia to stay in the occupied territories, that's 70% of their natural resources, which makes that minerals deal pretty much worthless, paper tiger? And then he might go, well, I don't know about that. Or maybe he'll say something else. But that would at least make him think about it and look into it more and then realize what a dumb-ass move it is, what he said about keeping the lines where they are right now. Because if money is the point, the economy is the point, and it's an America First policy, that's a no-brainer. So somebody's got to tell him. Because I don't think anybody in the administration's telling him. They're too scared. Because they don't want to contradict his opinion. Well, we need to draw the lines here and stop the war immediately, a ceasefire and make peace. Mr. President, sir, that may not be such a great idea because most of the resources that we signed that mineral deal, Russia occupies. And they're going to get it. Including a lot of that rare earth that we depend on from China. They don't have the courage and the balls to tell them that. But they need to. Somebody's got to. And then he might say, oh shit, and you got to put the money, the ka-ching, trillions of dollars worth, Mr. President, trillions of dollars worth of resources in that occupied territory that Russia has right now. You know what? Russia is a world power. Unless you really kiss Putin's ass and you love him that much and you're willing to give him all that value, this is a really bad move because it's just going to make Russia really not just a militarized world power, they're going to become an economic world power again. Our adversary. Do you know that Russia's our adversary, Mr. President, or no? It's freaking cray-cray. So when you really look at the details of things that are going on, it's not just the political sovereignty, NATO, territory. It's the value that we made that great deal. And that is a great deal for the United States. Do not get me wrong. But it's worthless if we agree to the terms that the president said out loud. And he's pushing Zelensky to give up even more land. Ukraine, Europe, are you listening? The NATO member countries, don't let this happen. Defend Ukraine. Don't allow the bully to dictate the terms with Russia, because he's leaning to Russia. He's trying to appease Putin. If you don't agree to this deal, you will be destroyed. Russia's going to destroy you. NATO countries aren't necessarily agreeing with that. They're trying to do their best to defend Ukraine because they know what's at stake. They live there. They know the region. Ukraine started the war. What? Where does he get his news from? Where does he get his information from? These are talking points. Tropes. It's so sick. It's just, you have to wonder, what the is going on? They talked about Biden And yes, I agree. Biden was. But the way he speaks sometimes, it makes you think, is he losing it too now? Seriously. Why is anybody questioning that? Some of the ramblings he said. Oh, Putin was part of World War II. What? And yes, he's pushing Russian propaganda. And so is the conservative media. You better get ready. That's funny, Louis. Yes. It's such craziness. Anyway, I got to go because I got to do a pre-record like right now. But I will say this. I support Ukraine. And I'll do whatever it takes, including writing music for the people of Ukraine, which is, thanks to Dom and some others, my song in Russian is spreading within the battalion and throughout Ukraine. And I am honored and humbled to be a part of that. And I'll do whatever it takes to get the message out from my personal perspective and opinion. And I am going to write the White House later. And I'm actually going to maybe write Fox News, Newsmax, and some of these other outlets and tell them, please have one of your people tell him about this deal and not even offer to give up more, Zelensky to ask Zelensky to even up more land, because that's crazy. Because the land that the Russians have now is insane, the value of it. It's not just the territory. It's not just the land mass. It's not just that. It's what's underneath the fucking land. Anyway, I gotta run. Have a great day, everybody. I'll be back later on. But my love and blessings to all. Peace, love, compassion, and hopefully unity at some point. So I'll be back later.